So
I forget sometimes. I'm like, oh my God, it's Thursday.
I know it, man.
And we're live.
Yeah,
just randomly.
We are.
On what day is it? Tuesday afternoon?
Tuesday. Yeah. Afternoon Delight Edition, man.
And that's what I said in the group.
Yeah, well, I saw that. That's why I named it that. I was like, yeah, this could be a perfect name.
Mm-hmm.
But how's it going, man?
It's good, man. It's always good to get together with you. I know we've been talking about, there's a lot of stuff.
There's many
things.
There's
always stuff. But there's a lot of stuff coming up too, like the Christmas party.
Uh-huh.
We've been pushing that a little bit more. That affects a lot of people.
Right.
That we know and that listen to us and that watch us and follow along with us. And
it's one of those too where we've actually made it official now. You know, because before I think it was all talk.
Yeah.
But now we have tickets available,
yeah.
etc. So I'm excited. It's gonna be fun. At first I was kind of like almost like in a resentful state. I'm like, not resentful, like scared.
Yeah.
Like, oh boy.
Yeah.
You know, here we go.
Yeah.
But it's gonna be great, man. We have, so many awesome people.
You know what I realized too about last year, and I think that this is one thing that until you really do it, you don't really know how it's going to go.
Mm-hmm.
Is I think when you and I we put together something, you're so worried about it, and you feel like you have to oversee every single aspect of it. And what I noticed last year was, outside of some things that we'll clear up for this year.
Right.
Once we got things in place, dude, you could kind of just let go and just have a good time, and everybody was sort of taking care of it themselves. I just remember how many people showed up last year.
Right.
But when you get together a group of people that are just of the same respect and mindset and stuff like that, you just don't really have to worry about as much. I think there was some nerve-wracking moments leading up to it where you're like, oh, I have to.
Yeah.
Well, we had Austin to keep babysit everyone last year.
Yeah, that was a good experience. I mean, I think, but that's anything though. You know, the stress is really all leading up to the event. The same thing for opening Greenville, for any kind of big thing we've ever done. And same can be said for you as well.
Yeah.
Stress, and then there's this little moment of bliss right when sit back, enjoy it,
Because I think that's one of the things that probably drives everybody nuts, but especially in our positions, is when you don't know, you prepare, right? Yep. But you don't know until things actually start to happen, because then you're like, all right, now how am I going to have to adjust? How am I going to have to? Because that's just what we do 24/7.
Yep.
So sometimes it's a little hard to just.
It's no matter how many jumps you take, leaps of faith, you still that fear of unknowing is always there. So but in I guess summary to that, the Christmas party is on December 18th, Ironhouse Gym. Yeah. So it's gonna be lit.
I think it's good too, because I know we talked about, you mentioned maybe doing it in Greenville and moving around, but I think it works out good too, because so many people that came last year I know are going to want to come this year, and they already, it's you do something once.
Yep.
And then now everybody knows, okay, the hotel situation, the driving, and all that stuff. So people already did this once, so now it'll be easier for people coming into town and stuff like that. There won't be as much, I think, on your end and on my end, where we're trying to organize and get people going, because people have already kind of gone through it. So So this year, but all that being said, last year was
fun. It was so much fun. It brings the best components of our friends in the supplement industry, and then also the local community together, and it merges them, and especially people around here who are fans of the supplement companies and the brands, being able to meet these people and be on the surface level, the ground level, saying they're real people too.
I think that was one thing that was good for everyone, is realizing just how normal everybody really is.
Right.
Like I said, I remember having a conversation. We were standing out in the parking lot, and it was me, it was Ben Hartman, Michael from Glaxon, Dan from Ghost, and some of the people from the group or whatever. And it was literally just everyone just hanging out with your friends and talking about stuff. And I think that what you said is important, because it gives you a better perspective. Sometimes we look at people, companies, we see them in a certain light, so you're not really sure, because those guys were all talking about, they were sort of sharing how they got started and things like that, and everybody's why was basically the same. They just had different approaches to the way they were doing things, but they still all wanted the same thing at the end of the day. And then it kind of ties in with what you do, at the end of the day, you just want to do what's best for everyone, including yourselves.
Yep.
So yeah,
I agree.
It was cool, man. I can't wait for it. So we have like 2 months.
Heck yeah. So if you guys are listening right now or watching, make sure you go check that out. It's on thenutritionstores.com. You can get your ticket. And we'll have more information on, accommodations, hotels, travel, etc. coming up. What else?
And like I told people last year, I was like, just stay at the Hilton. And then people like didn't take my advice and stayed other places, and they were like, I was like, just stay at the Hilton. It's a nice place. It's close. And then I have this too. Oh,
the new Red, White, and Boom.
Yeah, I got this morning.
It's not bad. He let me try some.
Yeah,
so I'm a big fan. Another thing, real quick too. We are doing the Strengthsgiving event this year.
Oh yeah, because I missed that last year. I wasn't here yet.
Right. I think you came to towards the end though.
Yeah, I remember I moved down here right before Thanksgiving last year.
Gotcha. Yeah, so this year we're going to try to make it bigger than ever.
Oh, yeah, I did get there right at the end. Last year. Yeah, I remember now. God, that was a year ago.
Dude, it's insane how fast things going, how fast time. But, so we're going to get the coalition involved.
There's no way that was a year ago. I know exactly what you're talking about. Huh.
It's insane, man. Okay. I look back at photo memories. My phone will remind me of things from a year ago. I'm like, no way. And it's insane.
Wow. Okay, that shook me up just a little bit because I remember this Thanksgiving.
Yep.
Get some good food.
It's awesome. The whole point of that is to really obviously bring the community together, have a good meal, but also to give to those in need. We package up meals and distribute them.
Yeah. So what is the coalition aspect of it?
So my job is, as I guess coalition coordinator or whatever, is to bring all these gyms together and all these fitness outlets together. And so we're going to be hopefully running a canned food drive at each gym. And so I think we have over 20 locations right now that are on board to support it. And so we'll be collecting food. If any of the gym staff or their members want to come out to the event at Iron House Gym, they can bring food. And so hopefully we're gonna feed the whole upstate. That's the goal. So,
I would say if you have 20 gyms.
Yep. And a lot of them are CrossFit gyms. And how big of a membership they tend to have.
Yeah. And not only that, but I think people I'm just noticing, not that people aren't like this outside this space, but one thing I've noticed about people within this space, especially people that can get on board with that, but how selfless people are, because I think when you're healthy and you feel healthy, it kind of goes through other aspects of your life, and then you kind of want other people to feel like that.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Yeah. So you want to do whatever you can.
It's infectious. It's like not to make it like a religious thing, but if you believe so strongly in something, you're going to want to just be compelled to spread that information.
Yeah, so it's like the culture.
Yeah. Which was a lot more of a popular shirt than I expected, but
yeah, I've seen them all everywhere.
So it's been a fun experiment. What's new with you though, man? What's been going on? Let's hear it.
There's always, I think, so recently, we've been sort of, I think we've talked about this kind of concept a lot, is there's so many things to do. We can have conversations. You and I can sit down for 10 minutes and then we come up with 5 projects to do or whatever.
Yeah.
And sometimes that's really good. And then, you try your hand, you kind of do these things, but then you realize, that whole business concept of, 20% of what you do, right, is making 80% of your sort of your money coming in, or it's making most of the progress. So one thing that Brady and I have always been good at doing is we'll talk about things before they snowball, and then we'll go, okay, let's forget this. Let's put this on the side. And we pass that down to our clients a lot of times too, because we just had a meeting the other day, a great meeting the other day with a brand owner that you're familiar with. And we were having this really good brainstorming session about just that. When you first get started, you do literally everything, because you don't have, a lot of times, you're really protective over what you're doing, but you also just don't know what you don't know. You don't know what you're not good at.
Exactly right.
You don't know what you're wasting your time doing.
Right.
And it's a hard thing for, I think, us to admit sometimes. You're like, God, I suck at this and I'm not getting any better. So how do I, kind of push that off to the side? Because it's focusing on what aspect of because I'll give you an example. When we had this meeting the other day, the brand owner was telling us, what he needed help with, what was going wrong, Where are they struggling? And that is always what we talk about, right? We say, what can I do better? What could be going better right now? I need help with this. I need help with that. But my first question to him was, I was like, what's going well? Right. What are you doing right now that is working? And then sometimes you can almost go, okay, let's put everything else off to the side and let's focus on what you're doing really well. And can we do that even better? Or can we just like double down? Can we triple down on it? And it's things that you've done, at the beginning of TNS or even opening a new store. You're trying all these things and it's like, okay, let's focus on this. So anyway, that's what we've been doing.
So a little word of advice to people who are running a business and are in this phase, call them, set up a call with them. Because if you did it the way I did it, which is going through so many brick walls of injuring yourself mentally and running yourself into the ground, and I'm still doing it. But, it took me forever to realize that my strong point in this company is making the big decisions as far as what we release, the branding and marketing.
Yep.
So that's what I do now.
Yep.
My guys handle the inventory, they handle all that. But it took me almost over 3 years to figure out, dude, I can't grow this if I'm so focused on what we need to order this week, what kind of new products to bring in, or et cetera. So I learned the hard way. So if you have a one speed track to somebody who already knows that information, take advantage of it. So.
And I think that's kind of part of it too. Is we realize that that's one thing about partnerships, right? That actually do work is, so many times you see people start brands with their friends because you have the same interests. Right. You're good at the same things. So you're like, yeah, let's get together and do something really cool. But you can't scale that. Yep. And usually it's like, okay, well, if we're both doing the same things, well, that's just redundancy within the space. So it's like you find someone, and that's how Brady and I met. I was like, okay, I can do this really well. Yeah. I need this and I can't do this. So what am I going to do? Am I going to go to school for the next 30 years or start 25 businesses like he did before he was 12 years old? I was like, or should I just talk to him?
Right. Exactly. I think, go ahead.
No, I was going to say, but sometimes you also don't realize what we run into a lot is, a lot of companies bootstrap in this space, which is becoming more and more difficult because of how much competition is out there. So you don't leave yourself much room, much runway. So that's why people are constantly it's staying a side project. And they say they want to grow and scale and make it their full-time job, but they're not set up for that. Right. They're we made an analogy the other day on a podcast we did together. It's you're training for football, but you're playing basketball, kind of thing. It's you're just not playing the right sport because your actions aren't meeting your words.
Yeah. I'll kind of to back up on the partnership thing, because I obviously I didn't have a partner coming into this.
Right.
Keelan kind of came on this February.
Yeah, he's here.
He is here. Yeah, he's awesome. Yeah. But I think that, like you said, with Brady and you guys identified your strengths and what you can bring to the table. I see so many partnerships, especially small business. They start out because they want to build a business. Yeah. They want to build this great vision. But the thing is, human communication, it doesn't matter how much you and I agree. Yeah. We have a different perception.
100%.
And I think that's where it gets people, man, because it comes to some point down the road where they're like, we want different things.
Yep.
We just didn't realize it.
Yeah. Oh, that's dude, that's 100% true.
So, same thing with relationships too. I mean, we don't have to go down that road, but I think it's pretty valid.
Yeah.
So
I say this all the time. I mean, we someone the other day said on my question sticker about having check-ins with their girlfriend, before problems get out of hand, they have check-ins. I said, honestly, we just had one last night. That's what Brady and I do. We have to have, and this is something that no one, I may have told you this, but there was definitely a point in time where I remember Brady and I were this is not working out.
Yeah. You told me that one. Yeah.
And you know what it was? That was exactly what it was. We were still wanting the same things, but we weren't communicating well enough with what was going on, where we're at. And once we started communicating a little bit better, dude, it's been perfect. So it's awesome. Like a marriage. Yeah. Anytime anytime now, where I'm talking to him and you can recognize it, I'm like, oh, let's get on the phone. We need to talk. We need to hang out, kind of thing. So
exactly.
Yeah, man, as long as the fundamentals are still there, like where you want to go with the company, I think you can sort of, and you have the same thing now with,
brings a lot to the table.
But at the same time, if you back it up a couple years ago, that opportunity with him wouldn't have been available.
No. Well, I think I was in like the proving grounds phase.
100%.
Like
absolutely,
nobody would. I went to the bank before I even opened this location, and they didn't laugh at me, but they were like, "We're sorry. Like, here's a business credit card you could apply for. We can't offer you a loan." Yeah. So I get it. You have to prove yourself. Now I have lenders that are offering.
Exactly.
Whatever.
Yeah, but you got to prove yourself, and that's something that we see it a lot because I know. See, now you're in the other position. I remember years ago thinking to myself, if I want to be in this space, I should work in this space. I should work for a company. I should do something like that. Well, nobody wanted it. Right. Nobody was offering. They're like, no, thanks. So it's like, I think that's a big thing that we see now is because people will reach out to us and they say, I'd love to work for you. I'd love to work for TNS. Right. And that's humbling. It's good. But at the same time, you're like, that's great that you want to work for us, but what can you do? Yeah. Show me something. Exactly. And people don't have time to. The biggest misconception, I think, is sometimes you see on the internet, you see these like fairy tale type stories, but people that are busy and running businesses and thinking constantly about a vision, they're not sitting there at night going, how can I go find some person and turn them into a diamond and like take them under my wing? Right. Like nobody thinks that because you don't have time to think about that. Maybe if you're older and you're retired and you're bored, but
and I see too,
it doesn't happen.
The companies around, and obviously we're a small business, so I see a lot of other like local small businesses, the ones that can't find help, just can't find anybody to work. Yeah. I found that they're not very true to their purpose and their mission and their vision for the company. It's more money based. Because I've seen a lot of other companies around here too that are very purpose driven, and employees come to them. Obviously, us is an example. Yeah. But people will be naturally attracted to passion and to purpose.
100%.
So, but then again, it's obviously different things. It depends on the type of business and whatnot. But
it plays in. We just had that conversation. Someone asked me the other day about what's the best way to grow and scale a retail store, and I'm like, and I bring this up all the time, but like, there's Sean at NutriFit. We work with him closely. Yeah. We know you guys have both been successful, taking very different approaches to like how you do things. And there's times where you need to be aware of the money in and out, of course. But then there's sometimes where I think one thing that you're really good at is saying, you know what, fuck that. I mean,
it can hurt me sometimes.
It'll come back. Like it's just kind of having like a little bit of faith in your vision. But if you tried, if you took that away, then you're kind of like, well, is this still the same sort of vision? So,
and don't get me wrong, though. I mean, I take a lot of it, like bits and pieces from Sean, and as far as like with how he does things too. Yeah. There's so much to learn, and so many different ways to, I think, operate that. But we're still scaling too, though. So.
Right.
It's a never-ending thing. So
and that's the other thing is we're constantly trying to figure things out. You know what I mean? Like even as much as like I'll say this, like Brady and I, we have a lot of experience and a lot of doing things a certain way, but we'll have meetings with people and then we'll say something, we're like, shit, we're not doing that. Like, why aren't we doing that? Right. So then you're like, oh, okay. So it kind of helps everybody, when you're in this sort of space, you can talk to other people, just normal conversations can sort of turn into big deals. So
I agree. As far as all the questions that were popped up, I think they were earlier, but Casey says Strengthsgiving actually at Thanksgiving because I'll be there.
Yeah. So she wants to do a Friendsgiving thing here. It makes it like some people won't be able to make it just because they're planning on coming to the Christmas party, but I think that's the plan is to come up for Thanksgiving too.
So as of right now, the Strengthsgiving is the week before Thanksgiving. But I mean, obviously I'd love to join any Friendsgiving. I'm down. What else? if you're local and listening to this, Sunday Fun Day coming up October 17th.
Oh, nice.
If anybody's in town, anybody want to come out to it,
it's not the 23rd. That's good.
Yeah, exactly. Just like everything in the world,
like everything else is the 23rd.
But
good. So that was a really fun event.
It's always fun. We used to do them like so frequently.
Yeah.
And that was back before we made big ordeals out of everything. I would just like get on the story and say, hey, Sunday Fun Day.
Yeah.
Come on out.
Yeah.
But now we're getting together with Lexi tomorrow at Iron House, and we're going to hopefully shoot some content for it and really promote it.
Nice. I really like what Iron House has been doing lately too. Just from, I've been working out there, since last year, and they've changed some things up there a lot.
Yeah.
And I don't want to say it like, oh, they're taking like a more professional approach, but they've gone through where they're like, okay, here's some things that are working and here's some things that haven't been working. Some of their new policies, getting in some new equipment and stuff like that there. People will, if you're generous, people will always take advantage of that. So sometimes you have to alter your approach. So it's been cool to see them too, because they've grown, I think, a lot.
Of course.
Just in the time I've been here.
They're killing it, man.
Yeah.
I'm so I love to see their growth, and it's I kind of joined on board there and became family with them at similar points in our business as we both kind of grown, and it's been really great, and I love them. It's like family there. I always tell people it really is. You go in, there's no judgment. It's and it's one big family. So
yeah, it's fun there. We have a good time. But yeah, so then the Christmas party will be there again, which is
all kinds of Iron House stuff this third quarter or fourth quarter of the year. Yeah. So, but anything else you want to add? Probably.
I don't think so. I think
it's not. This is kind of out of the norm for us to do it at midday, but yeah.
No, I think we're good. I think we're good. Yeah, we'll call it there.
Awesome. Yeah. Well, hey, guys, thank you so much for listening and watching to the Formula Podcast.
Yeah.
It's available on every single podcast platform known to man, to my knowledge. And you can find us on Instagram at Supplement Snoop, at The Nutrition Store LLC. And thank you guys so much. We appreciate your support.